Okay, so Close to My Heart just went live on their Facebook page, and they made a cute little card featuring our blushed special. Now, it is a bring back your pack. So these stamp sets, as well as the paper packets, we had several years ago. They've just updated the stamp sets and the paper colors to match our current colors, and then they brought it back until the end of July or while supplies last. So the card was super cute, so I thought I would make it here for you girls. And if you have any questions, of course, leave me a comment, and then I will answer it to the best of my knowledge. So I have everything laid out, and I will also list this down in the description below. So I'm just going to kind of clear off my table right quick, and then we can get started. So the first thing I want to do is I want to random stamp the back of my card base. So I like to just bring my Versamat in and use the back side. And I'm going to lay my card flat. And then grab a piece of scratch paper. Let's grab two. Because I also don't want this, y'all can't see this here, but here's the score line of my card base. So I'm just going to mask that off right quick. So the brushed special actually comes with 2 stamp sets if you get the bundle, but I'm going to use the one that says A Budding Friendship. And I'm going to pull that out. And we just want the outline of this daisy right now. So I'm just going to pull that off of my carrier sheet and put it on one of these blocks. Now this stamp set is brand new, so I just want to season it. And you girls have seen me use my rub and erase, my rub and remove eraser, as well as you can use your skin. I just like to use my fingers sometimes on these intricate stamp sets. And then I need a wet chamois. Laramie, can you go wet the chamois, please? Okay, so Close to My Heart showed a couple of techniques. And the first one was taking 2 ink pads. So I've got Canary and I've got Pixie. And inking the image up in both colors. And then kind of creating a middle color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take probably half of this daisy stamp set, and you see how half of it isn't inked up yet, and I'm inking it up in the Canary, and then I'm going to take the other half and ink it up in the Pixie with part of that Canary overlapping the Pixie. And so now I've got 2 colors, and you want to make sure that you go in the lighter color first, just in case you get some ink on that other ink pad. It won't ruin your ink pad. And then I'm just going to stamp it off. Now you can see where I stamped that flower off the edge of my card base, just to kind of create the look of the image going off. So I'm going to repeat that process and just do it all around. It does not have to be perfect, because part of this is actually getting covered up with some patterned paper as well. I don't know why I just lifted that. Guess I needed to see what I was doing. Okay, so then let's do it one more time. Let's go right here. Okay, so the majority of this is getting covered up. So that's what I'm going to do on that. Hold on, my son is coming in. Okay, so we're done with the card base. And then now we're going to work on the images that we're going to fussy cut out. So this measures 3 by 8, and you just need enough that you can color in, or just stamp these images off. So we're going to start again with the outline. Oops. And we're going to ink that up in archival black. And I'm going to show you another trick. Anytime, because archival black really stains your stamp sets. So you want to take this and do it in a very light color. This is Pebble, I believe. Very light color, and then stamp right here. And it seems to help with shading. So I'm going to stamp that down. And I don't like that, so I'm going to turn it over. The joys of stamping. So, okay, I'm going to do that up again. Okay, that looks more solid. So I'm going to stamp this like this, and then I also want it again, but I only want it for the center. We're going to cut that center out and pop dot it. So it doesn't matter that those didn't ink up on there. Okay, so I'm finished with this one, and now what we're going to do is we're going to pull the solid from the stamp set. Now, since this is a solid stamp set, I definitely want to use my rub and remove eraser, and I just go over it like that, and then take my chamois. If you have a stamp cleaner, you can do that, and I just make sure that it's really dry. So we're going to use almost the same technique, but this one is going to be a rock and roll. So again, I've got Canary and I've got Pixie. And we're going in the lighter color first. So I'm going to ink up this entire flower in the Canary. And then I am going to take the stamp set and I'm going to rock and roll it. So I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'm only inking up the edges of that flower. And then I'm going to stamp it down. Can you see how the edges are that pink, that pixie color? And then also when you're lining up your stamps, just look for a petal or an identifier that helps you line it up. This one is odd. This one, to me, it stuck out. It's way up there, if y'all can see. And so that was really easy for me to line it up. The other thing is that it's watercolor. The stamp set's really kind of meant watercolory. That's what the pattern paper is. Let's see, here's some. So see how it's just kind of watercolor look? So you don't have to have it perfect. So I'm just going to put that back down, and then I'm going to grab this center to the flower. And then I'm just going to I'm going to season it with my finger and then take just Pixie ink and stamp right there. Okay, so let's leave the Canary out. Now we're going to do the leaves. And so the leaves are done basically the same as this, but it's done in Canary and then the green apple. So we've got a leaf right here, and we need 3 of these. So I'm going to ink it up in the Canary, and then I am just going to rock and roll around that edge. And we're going to be fussy cutting these out, so it doesn't matter where you stamp them. Again, in my Canary, rock and roll. And you can do as little or as much green as you want. This next one, I think I'm going to do more green. So, can you see that? Okay, and then what we're going to do is take this outline of that leaf. Now this stamp set has various leaves. It has that one and then an outline, and I used that one, and I just did all 3 of that one. You could do one of these and a couple of those, but I just decided to do those. And it's going to be outlined in this archival black. Now on this particular stamp set or image, I'm not going to worry about it getting too dark. So I'm not going to do it in the gray or the what am I trying to say? Pebble. Sorry, I'm not going to do it in the pebble. So there you go on the leaves. And then the last thing we're going to do is the stem. Now you could either stamp this stem on your piece of paper and cut it out. I'm not going to do that. I am going to ink it up directly onto this piece of pattern paper. And then, I don't know if you can see, but can you see that little ball? That's going to go near the flower. So I want that up. And I'm just going to stamp it right there. Okay. So I'm going to clean that off and put it back on my carrier sheet. I'm going to clean this leaf up. And then we only have one more stamping to do. And then we can start fussy cutting and adhering these pieces down. So this sentiment says, my thoughts are happiest when you are there. Or let's do it this way. My thoughts are happiest with you in them. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take my canary ink pad and I'm just going to turn it over and I'm going to ink up this right there. This was not in the original video from Close to My Heart. But I kind of wanted to show you what you could do. And then I'm going to take this sentiment and I am going to put probably right there. Want to.
Hi.
Laramie is here with me and she says hi. She's anxiously awaiting me to finish this so she can make something on her own. Okay, so now we have all the pieces and then I'm going to cut this out and I'm just going to use my micro tip scissors. What I like to do when I fussy cut out is I like to make smaller pieces. So I'm going to do that, and then I also like to leave a white edge. It's kind of like, you know, when you buy stickers, stickers always have that white edge. That's what I like to do. It also makes it a lot more forgiving. If I were to cut exactly on that black line and I were to mess up, then you could tell the mess up a whole lot more than if I were to leave a white edge.
Yeah.
How do you know? Or you just hear me always say that?
Like, I hear you always say that.
Yeah.
Like, you say, why do stickers have white edges?
Okay, so I'm going to do this off camera. There's really no need for you girls to sit here and watch me do it. So I'm going to pause this and then I'm going to come back and show you
what it looks like.
Wow, exactly. Okay, we are back and I have cut the leaves, this flower center, and then the flower. And then I wanted to show you, what I'm going to do. Stop. I wanted to show you what I'm going to do with this. So I want to dovetail it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am going to put it in my cutter. And then put it in my cutter. No. So then, if you recall, we also had this piece. Now this is Pixie. There's a dark side and a light side. You want to use the light side. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere this green apple polka dot pattern paper to the top of this Pixie. And then I am going to work on this. Now I want to pop dot this off. So I am going to, grab these 3D foam tape, 3D foam circles. If you have the 3D foam tape, you definitely could do that. Before I do that, I want to add some shimmer to this. So I'm going to grab my clear shimmer brush. Jeremy, you got to take it somewhere else so he doesn't bark. And we just want lots of shimmer. So I'm just going to add shimmer all over this.
Have that shimmer brush?
No, I gave you a shimmer brush.
It doesn't work that much.
It does. I'll show you how to work it.
It has black all over on the top.
Is it a black shimmer brush or a clear?
It's a black, I think.
Oh, okay, well, I'll take a look at it. Okay. So hopefully, can you see that shimmer? It's so pretty.
I want to see.
Can
Aww.
you see it? Okay, so let's actually go ahead and adhere this down to the card front.
Can I do it?
Mm-mm. So this should center directly top, bottom, sides. I'm assuming that's probably about 1/2 inch. I'm not measuring, I'm just kind of eyeballing it.
Well, it's still
What
cute.
did you laugh about? You laughing at me?
No.
Sounded like it.
I was laughing at Hamilton because he's tickling my toes and he's licking.
Where's, do you have my other 3D film tape?
Uh-huh. Why?
Well, I didn't want to unwrap my other one.
It was the little one.
Oh, okay. It only has a little bit left?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Hamilton.
So y'all remember my mess up. No big deal, because stamping, you just turn it over.
What mess up did you have?
Okay, if you notice, these leaves are large and these are small. I'm going to have the small ones over here on this side. Hey, don't do the table. Don't wiggle it. I'm going to have these leaves over to the side because we're going to have this bulky thing right here. And I think it just adds a little something something if you put the small ones. Okay, so we got that. Now let's go ahead and lay down the center.
Stop licking me.
I love these foam dots, these foam circles that Close to My Heart has. They come in tiny, and then they come in these larger ones.
Oh, man.
And I just love them for round things. Okay, so we got that. The next thing we're going to do is use some of this liquid adhesive on these leaves. And if you'll notice, the line that goes all the way to the edge of the outline, that's the inside, stop shaking, the inside of the leaf. So let's put it right there. Just a little bit. Why? Okay, let me trim off. Is he biting your toes?
No, he's licking them.
Oh. Are your toes dirty? Okay, so let's do that. Ew. Well, tell him to stop. Okay, so I'm going to dovetail this side. So I just cut up the center and then cut from the bottom corners up to that cut line. And then I am going to pretend that I can cut a straight line with scissors and trim off that excess.
You can't cut a straight
I can't. To save my life, I could not. Maybe if it was to save yours, I could, but...
What do you mean save my life?
I'll explain to you later. Okay, and then I also want to add some 3D foam adhesive to that as well.
Oh, whatever.
So let's peel that off.
Peel what off?
The backing to that 3D foam tape.
Oh, I thought you mean pull off the skin.
'Cause. 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 'C Okay, so then the next trick that Close to My Heart demonstrated was our black and white enamel dots. So on the white ones, you can actually take alcohol markers. So I've got dull green and coral, and you can actually color these.
That's so good.
I know.
Mine color mine?
No, yours can't. Your markers cannot.
Oh, I wish I could color that.
Oh, yeah, you can. Color, maybe color another medium size one.
Nice.
Pretty cool, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's kind of like paint. If you go over the same place over and over again before it dries, it just basically takes the color up. So now you can wait for it to dry and then do it again. Now these are alcohol markers, so they dry rather quickly. It's just you don't want to go over and over the same spot before they have time to dry, if that makes sense. So I'm going to pull, my favorite is a paper piercer. You could also use our light gray handled scissors. Do you see where those are?
Oh, these are the light handled
Yes.
scissors?
These are our non-stick. So you could also use that, and then that way any of the sticky won't actually stick.
And make sure you
But I just like the paper piercer.
And make sure you be very careful with these scissors because they're very sharp.
Very sharp. Where should I put this? By this one?
No.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, like that.
Okay. So there is the card. Super cute. You can see all of that bling. You can see these right
Bling,
here. Of course, this little sentiment. We could even, what could we do on the inside?
I think we should give...
Let's just do these cute little centers right here.
Can I do it?
Sure. We're going to pull out that Pixie ink. And instead of turning this over again, I'm just going to put it right here. And I just want 3 down in the bottom, but I want 2 larges, and then we'll use that small one. So kind of like a triangle down here. Uh-huh.
So, first
Doesn't matter. Just put it down.
right here.
Uh-huh. And maybe right there.
Right here.
Uh-huh. Okay, now let's do the middle, the smaller one.
Okay. It doesn't matter if you mess up, it's still pretty.
That's right. Okay, hold on. Did you get it all over the block?
No?
Okay. Nope, go closer. Go like right there. Right there. Yep. Let's add...
It's pretty and cute, and you can add it more.
You want maybe
Let me add
a big one right there coming off of it. Yep, just go turn that off. Hurry, hurry. I'll let her come back and do that. Hurry, turn it off. Okay, hurry. You can't rewind it or anything. It's already paused 30 minutes. You have to turn it off. Either that or down. Hurry. And just do it right there. Perfect.
Okay, bye. I'm gonna go watch this.
Okay. So yeah, there is our card. So again, I will leave the measurements down below, and then again, you could use any floral stamp that you have on hand. You could use any outline to try and practice that little technique, and any solid to try and practice the rock and roll. If you have any questions, leave me a comment.